Are you a decisive person or not? If not, you're probably living at half your potential as a man. All right, that's the hard truth. You're probably living at literally half the potential you are as a man, right? People probably rarely look to you for guidance or advice. Women probably question your decisions and shit test you a lot, right? If you're getting a lot of shit tests, it's because you're not you're not doing this consistently enough in the moment, which just means you got to be more self-aware and practice and course correct a little bit more. Because once you become the type of person who's resilient, decisive, and also the other three traits we're going to talk about in this podcast, you rarely get shit tested. I hit a point in my game where, like I said, I've been going out for almost every night of the week for years, right? Obviously, COVID changed a lot of that. But back in the day, I hit a point in my game where it seemed like I was getting a fair number of shit tests and I would be able to overcome them. But at some point, I just kind of had this self kind of belief. It was almost like a switch flipped inside to where I just realized like, women were no longer shit testing me like they used to. Like I used to introduce myself to a girl, or at some point in that first conversation, one of the shit tests I'd always get was like, oh, how old are you? And then I'd say, 24 or however old I was at the time. And they'd be like, oh, that's too young. Right. And it's a shit test. Right. But guys get these types of shit tests all the time. And what I realized and how I actually can verify it's a shit test, because there was never a right answer to that question. Because in my head, I obviously would overcome it in the ways that I talk about in my book, with just playfulness and just kind of teasing and, the classic banter shit. But when I turned 25, I was like, okay, maybe I'm not in my early 20s. Now I'm in my mid 20s. So maybe I'll get a different response to it. Nope. Didn't get another response. I swear I'd be 27 talking to bitches in the club. I'd still get that question. And I'd be like, and I was like, surely I'm old enough at 27 now. Now it goes from like, you're too young to, oh, you're too old, right? So there's no right answer. It's a fucking shit test. It's illogical, right? And the only reason they're testing you is to see how you respond after they deliver the test. Does that make sense? And so that's a whole other story. But, that's one symptom. If you're not super decisive, you probably get shit tested a lot. Hey, babe, I want to go here, right? Or, hey, let's go over to that side of the bar, right? Because I'm thirsty. Let's go over there, right? And you're leading her throughout the venue, whatever it is. If you can't do it in a congruent way, that's when she starts going, I don't know. Why do you want to do over that? I want to go over here, right? And they fucking start trying to just pick and poke and prod. So I think you get the point. Another one is your ideas probably don't get taken as seriously as they should, especially at work or if you're pitching an idea. And honestly, you probably get laid about 80% less than you should. All right. And so, for example, I might take on a new coaching client. Anytime I take on a new 20K coaching client, or even guys who want to come to the boot camp, I'll say, hey, tell me, what do you want to create for your life? Like, what kind of dating life do you envision us working on building together, right? What's your ideal dating situation look like? And 95% of the time, these guys will go into a long rant of like, oh, I don't want this. I don't want these types of women. I don't want these any bitchy girls. I don't want to be rejected anymore, and it amazes me how much of what they tell me when I say, hey, describe your ideal dating situation, is all the things that they don't want in their dating life, right? So most men don't really take the time to decide what they do want. And so they're focused so much on what they don't want. Obviously, what do you think they are attracting in their life if they're always focused on what they don't want, right? So it's very important, because it literally changes how you take action towards your goals and kind of your resilience and your ability to do that too, right? So decide right now. We're coming into a new year, hopefully a better and brighter year than what 2020 was for a lot of people. So decide right now, who do you want to become this year, right? What impression do you want to make on people this year? What do you want to become known for? And then decide that you're going to do whatever it fucking takes to achieve that this year, right? And I always make this clarification here. When you decide what your mission, what your path is, at least right now, don't put so much fucking pressure on yourself to make this the permanent thing, right? David Data makes this analogy in The Way of the Superior Man. If you're kind of, as a man, you're going to go through phases in your life, obviously, right? But if you're kind of looking for purpose, obviously purpose and having a purpose is important for you, especially your ability to attract women. And that's obviously what being decisive will help you find. But most men kind of stay on the outer levels. But anyways, your purpose is like an onion. At the core of the onion is your core purpose. And most men spend their whole lives trying to find their core purpose, their why. What were they made to do? What is their fucking passion in life? What do most of their goals and time go towards, right? That's your core purpose. Well, you're not necessarily supposed to know what your purpose is, especially early on in your life. And if you don't know, don't put so much pressure on yourself when you're trying to decide what this stuff is for you, what your goals are for the next year, who you want to become this year. Don't think that this has to be the final version of you, right? Because just like an onion, you're going to go through the layers of the onion. And so you're going to this year go through one layer of the onion. It's going to be great for you, or it's going to be really shitty and you're going to turn it into a fucking learning experience. But then that's going to parlay into the inner layer, the next layer of the onion, where maybe your purpose changes a little bit, but now you're a little bit closer to your core. All right. So don't put so much pressure on yourself, but also you get exactly what you settle for in life, right? So keep your standards high, right? Don't attach your history to, don't limit your future by, maybe your lack of results in the past is what I'm trying to say. So make your standards high, but don't overcomplicate it, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Chris?
Yeah, and I think a good way to think about it, the way I like to think about it, is just think about it. If you have your worst wardrobe, like the worst shirt in your wardrobe is Gucci, then even when you're looking your quote unquote worst, it's still better than most.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple in the moment types of things too. That's kind of broadly speaking, is like deciding your goals. What are you going to do to get to that? What kind of impression do you want to make? What kind of women do you want to attract? Not even just like the physical type, but like, do you want to attract more women who are into their health and fitness? Do you want to attract more women who are into personal development? Things like that. Right. And then go out there and actually start taking action, because a weird thing happens is like your subconscious, they call it your reticular activating system. It's literally like, it is literally your subconscious. I remember learning about it in human anatomy and physiology in dental school. And it was describing the reticular activating system as like the thing that your brain uses when you transition from being awake and conscious to sleep. And it kind of controls your sleep state, right? But it also, since it's your subconscious thing, is kind of like when you're in a car and you are looking over here at the thing on the side, you naturally kind of find yourself drifting that way, because literally where your focus is, your energy starts to kind of flow that way, right? And so your subconscious, whether you know it or not, when you decide what types of women you want to attract, what types of opportunities you want to create for yourself within the year, you're naturally, whether you know it or not, going to be focused on going towards the paths that actually lead you back to what you decided what you wanted your focus to be. And it's like a subconscious thing, right? It's kind of like if I told you right now, look around in your room and look at all the things that are red. Look for red, look for red, look for red. All right. Look for red right now, motherfucker. Look around in your room. And I want you to look at the things that are red right fucking now. Now stop, close your eyes. Tell me all the things that were yellow. Can't do it, because where your focus goes, your energy flows. All right. So this is a very subconscious thing on a broad strokes, but even in the day-to-day stuff, practice it. Don't take 10 minutes to decide what you want to fucking eat off the fucking menu. All right. Don't wait until the deadline to buy something you know you want. Right. And stop playing the passive role in life is all this really means. Stop being so fucking passive and be the guy who makes the decisions and where you want to go. And people are going to start following your lead because you're going to become so good at it. And the more you do it, you're going to become more confident as you do it. You're going to do it with more conviction, which is going to lead other people to just naturally start following your lead more often.